If I stand 100% upright, this is what it would look like. Today we're going to talk about waist control. I know that's surprising to you considering that all the past few videos I've made have said that today I'm going to talk about waist control. Let's start by talking about why it's important. Having control of the hoop going around your waist is going to free you up from standing stock still and get you started moving your feet, moving around, having a little bit more freedom with the hoop. I'm going to show you 3 exercises today to help you get better control over your waist hooping. And it should go without saying, but I want you to do both these exercises in both the directions. Both the directions. That's what it sounded like I just said. Both directions. I'd like to take a moment here to make a note about your opposite direction. I sometimes like to call it your flat tire direction because I had a student one time in class tell me that hooping in her opposite direction felt like she was hooping with a flat tire. Something was a little bit off. Nobody likes hooping in their opposite direction at first, but it's pretty important because it's going to help keep you balanced, not just with your hoop dance, but also physically. If you're constantly hooping to one direction, it's going to hurt your back after a while, so you want to balance it out by going in the opposite direction. Plus, if you're ever stuck for something to work on, just practicing your opposite direction will help get those neurons firing again and get the creative juices going. Plus, it's just impressive. I can hoop in both directions. What? Anyway, on to the exercises. The goal of the first one is to get you to zero in on the muscles in that waist area and get you moving the hoop up and down this whole section of your torso here with purpose. So you're going to start by getting your hoop going and then feel the circle it's making around your waist. See if you can get the hoop to trace the same line every time it goes around. Suck in your ab muscles, really activate them, feel them. See if you can push against the hoop with your abs intentionally every time it comes across your belly. Once you've got a sense for that feeling of manipulating the hoop with your abs, see if you can get the hoop to rise just a ½ inch from that original circle. If you turn your hips in big circles, it can also help the hoop to rise. Hold it in that new place for a little while. It's going to feel a little bit different because it's not that default waist area. Move it up another ½ inch and hold it. Keep doing this until you feel like you can't get it any higher up, and then let it drop back to neutral. And now we're going to do that same thing but going down. Feel your abs manipulating the hoop and then push it just a ½ inch down and hold it. And then keep going ½ inch and hold it, ½ inch and hold it until you feel like it's just on the edge of falling off your hips. If you can get it all the way down to your hips, that's great, but using your hips to hoop is actually a different muscle group than what we're trying to work right now, so I'm certainly not going to think any less of you if you can't. These changes are going to be subtle. Visually, they probably aren't going to look very exciting, but you should be feeling this. That's the most important part. Make sure you can feel what's happening. Most people can get the hoop to right the tippy top of their rib cage all the way down to just above their hip bone. So once you've done the slow, deliberate ½ inch sections for a while, go ahead and try moving your hoop up and down that whole range. If it falls, that's okay. We're building the muscle control. If you're having a hard time feeling control over that whole range, that's fine too. Do what you can and keep building off of it. And of course, do all that in the opposite direction. In the next exercise, we're going to move our arms around. The purpose for this is to notice what the hoop is doing on your waist while your arms are moving, so that when you go to dance, you have more freedom with your arms. It'll become second nature. You'll know how your hoop is going to react when you flail like this. So get the hoop going, get your legs in a comfortable stance, and hold your arms out to the side. Straight out. I don't want to see anybody going like, meh, I don't really want to do this. I know I can't really see you, but you're only hurting yourself here. Hold it like that for a few rotations. Then lift them straight up in the air. Hold it like that for a few rotations. Keep switching between out to the side and up in the air. You're gonna feel kind of like you're doing an early 90s aerobics class, but that is okay. The point here is to notice the shift from when your arms are straight to when they're up in the air. It does feel different on your waist. Next thing you're gonna do with your arms is a little bit trickier. This is where I see the most people drop the hoop, so if that happens, it is totally normal. With your arms straight up in the air, you're gonna throw one arm forward and one arm backwards at the same time. It's harder than it looks. From there, you're gonna bring them back up and then switch. Whichever arm was in front is now in back, and whichever arm was in back is now in front. And you guessed it, we're going to up and down a few times. And you will notice that your torso, when you do this, in order to actually get your arms behind you and in front of you at the same time, is having to do little twists, which are building up to the next move, which is a bigger twist. Now you're going to keep your arms extended and actually twist your torso from side to side. If you've been watching all of my tutorials up to this point, you will know that if you turn in the same direction as the hoop, it slows down the hoop's momentum in relation to your body, and turning against it speeds it up. So you'll notice it'll be a little bit trickier to keep the hoop going when you twist against the hoop. Easier, harder, easier, harder. But these are just half twists, and practicing these is gonna build up the muscle memory for when you actually start moving around and turning. Okay, now do all that in the opposite direction. And the third and final exercise involves your legs, getting used to how the hoop moves on your waist when you're doing different things with your legs. Feel how wide apart your legs are, and then pooch them a little bit wider. Again, focus on how the hoop is reacting on your waist. Feel what you need to do at the waist to get control over the hoop as you slowly move your feet wider and wider. See how far you can go before it either gets too difficult to stay upright or the hoop falls. And if you can get all the way down into the splits while the hoop is still going, send me a video of that. So then, as you probably guessed, we're now going to pull our feet in, all the way in to where they are side by side. And notice what's happening now. You don't have both feet to go back and forth anymore, so your waist is having to do more of the work. Do all that in the opposite direction and you're done for the day. Class dismissed. That's it for this tutorial. I hope you learned a lot and really practice those exercises, even if you feel like you're just kind of wasting your time, because they really help. Next Monday there will be another hoop tutorial on I haven't decided yet. What do you want to learn? Leave something in the comments and I'll think about doing a tutorial for it. If you liked this video and you want to be really nice, you could click like. That's a button you could click. My name is Jess. I should start saying that at the beginning of the videos. I'm trying to be more consistent and make hoop tutorials on Monday or really early Tuesday morning. You can find me on Etsy where you can see lots of fun hoops like this. Incidentally, the hoop I use in this video is my Pinkie Pie hoop. If you're a fan of My Little Pony, I do have the rest of the main 6 up there. And that's jesshoops.etsy.com. You can check out my Patreon site, which is a way to say thank you for making tutorials. I like your stuff. Here's a little internet tip. And if you're not opposed to occasionally also watching vlogs of me just talking to the camera and being a dork, subscribe! Okay, this has gone on long enough. I will see you on Monday if you're only interested in hoop tutorials, and on another day this week if you like happiness. Bye-bye! Something landed on me. Can you see my goosebumps? That freaked me out.